And moving on now then to the client funnel. So this is effectively how you can control each stage of the process from someone making an inquiry to becoming a client with you. The stages of your funnel are your leads, your conversations, your meetings, and then the output is getting your clients. So we'll look at each of these now and how they relate to each other. And it's the process then of converting someone from an inquiry into being a client. As we say, it goes in a stage from lead to qualified lead, which is a conversation, through to a booked meeting, and then to the close. And with this, your percentage success at each stage determines then how many new leads you'll need to generate each new client. So that will determine the overall ratio. But the common kind of misconception where people kind of overlook the stages of this process is that they think we just need to get more leads in and then we will get more clients. But it's about your conversion percentage at each stage of the funnel, which will then lead to your overall conversion percentage, which will determine how many leads you need to get in order to get your client. So it's not necessarily good enough to say I just need a lot of good quality leads, then I'll get a lot of new clients in. You got to look at how you've transitioned someone from being a lead to a qualified lead, from being a qualified lead to having booked a meeting, and then from your meeting to your close. You identify your success rate at each of these stages, because then this will show you areas where you need to maybe either make more effort in terms of kind of output, or you just need to improve the quality. So these will be the areas then that you look to kind of address your training on. So to give an illustrative example, if your success rate may be 90% conversion from leads to qualified, which means every new lead that comes in, 9 times out of 10, you're able to get in touch with them. So either on the phone or in email. And for it to be a qualified lead via email, it means they need to have replied to you. So you've got a conversation going. And then for your qualified leads to your meeting success rate, maybe 66%, so maybe 2/3 of the people you're in conversation with, you're able to then book in for a meeting. And then maybe you've got an 85% close ratio in terms of when you have a meeting to then signing up as a client. That would then give you an overall conversion percentage of 50% from new inquiry to new client. This would mean then to add 5 new clients a month, you need 10 new leads a month, you'll have to have 9 conversations a month and book 6 new meetings a month. So you can see how those percentages and those ratios then can be applied to whatever your overall goal is. So whatever output you're looking to get, whether it's something as simple as 5 clients a month, whether you're on kind of a larger scale, you need to do 5 a week, you then just factor it up and you can work out exactly how many conversations you need to be having, how many meetings you need to be booking, how many of those meetings you need to be closing, and then overall how many leads you need to be coming in to achieve your goal. And then the key thing to note with this again is that different people and different inquiries will be at different stages of the funnel. And so your goal is to move X number from one stage to the next stage. So it's not necessarily that you're trying to get someone who's a new inquiry through to being a signed client as soon as possible. Where you can kind of control things, especially over the mid to long term, is by making sure that you're doing each stage and moving people through each stage as they go. Okay, now we're going to move on to look at how to attract more leads. So as we saw before, conversion percentages as you go through the sales funnel determine how much kind of output and effort you need to make at each stage. But what comes in at the top is obviously your new leads. You need to make sure you're getting in as many new leads as possible. So for this then, if you do get leads allocated to you, so say if you do work in a popular gym or health club, you just need to then be sure that you take them through the stages in order to give yourself the best chance of securing the deal and signing the new client. So as we said before, you're taking them through the stages from lead to qualified to meeting, then to the close. If you try and go for the kill too soon, this is how you may potentially be putting people off. So don't ever assume that even kind of the hottest leads are coming in and they're ready immediately to be your client. You need to build a certain level of rapport. You need to have a certain level of understanding, because then if they do have objections, you're then prepared to overcome them. And also use the resources then that are available to you. So again, if you're in a gym or a health club, you can walk the floor, talk to the members, you can take classes, and things like that. So every opportunity for a conversation is an opportunity to attract a new client. And then similar to online marketing, which we'll cover later, you need to build that rapport with the potential new client, then also to create a reason to follow up with them. So any conversation that you do happen to have, no matter how kind of lighthearted it may be, if you're talking about anything to do with fitness or training, nutrition, anything like that, that gives you a great opportunity to follow up with that person. So with that, then, you can mention a blog article that you've read or a new recipe that you've seen. And even if you don't know the person already, to be able to get in touch with them. If you're in a gym or a health club, all their details will be on the membership system. So all you need to do is ask that person if they don't mind. You'll send that through to them, and you can grab their email address from the guys in the office, and then you've got a reason then to get in touch. Okay, so next we're going to talk about branding awareness. So again, this is a very, very key stage. So it's crucial for you to know who you are as a trainer, and then also to note who your target clientele are. The reason being, if you're a first choice to a smaller percentage of people, it's going to be far more effective for growing your business and your brand than being everybody's second choice, because then there's always going to be somebody else in front of you. So the idea being that as the fitness industry kind of grows, the competition is so fierce now, but also the fact that potential clients, members, they are now far more savvy than they ever were before. Previously, engaging in health and fitness and going to the gym was in itself a niche activity, whereas now it's far more mainstream. So you need to then start to really think about what your specific niche is and what your appeal will be. You got to consider such things as what your client age is, what kind of career they may have, what their family status would be, what goals they tend to go for, your own experience then as well, and your own specialities. So this will allow you to appeal directly to your target market, ensure that all of your efforts, your marketing, your promotions, everything's aligned then as well. So you're not going to waste any resources. The posts that you'll be making on social media, the message from your website, things you talk about, the content you deliver, everything's going to be all heading in the same direction, which means it's going to be very clear exactly what you offer. And for that person who's looking for that thing, you're then immediately going to be at the top of their list.